Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm already joking. Y'all already know that's not my real voice. Okay, so hello, welcome to my channel. Down and dirty with your girl, Dee Dee. Hello, how are we doing today? Hope we're doing good. Okay, because it's WWE Wednesdays. Okay, and we're gonna get into it. All right. I want you to keep it short and sweet for you guys today because I am going to be doing special videos for Juneteenth this week, all dropping on Thursday. So she's got to film a lot. It's not that much to do today. It talks about today. It's really, there was no pay-per-views. There was really not too much going on. It's really just been, main focus has been Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring and like the championship circuit, trying to figure that out, what they're doing. Because I think the Braun Breaker, which is Scrappy Doo, we're just going to call them by their names today because I don't have time and patience and energy to remember the nicknames. So, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed lost all weekend. Okay, they just losing. All right, Seth Rollins may have won last week, but they losing this week. Okay, so Braun Breaker did not advance for King of the Ring, and neither did Bronson Reed. Okay, so boom, bop, bam. All right, but Bronson Reed did get involved in the match 4-way. The Bronson I got on my nerves. Braun Breaker. This was sometimes easier to call them by their nicknames. Their names too close together, so similar. So Braun Breaker was in there, and LA Knight ended up interfering as well, making sure he did not win. And then, of course, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker made sure that LA Knight did not advance, which helped Randy Orton advance. Okay, so semifinals is going to be Randy Orton on one side. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. And then on the other side for the men's semifinal, it will be Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. But the interference in that last, because that was the main event on Raw, was the Fatal 4-Way with like Jey Uso, who else was in that match? It was Jey Uso, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, and Rusev. And then, of course, like Braun Breaker, and he came out and interfered, but so did LA Knight, so did Penta. Was that everybody? Sami Zayn also interfered in that one too. So there was just basically they're not letting them win. Sorry, Seth Rollins, you did not do your big win with them. I didn't also see them winning anyways, though, because then that would have been a total monopoly, and I think that a lot of people would have been upset. Interesting to let Jey win. Interesting after the last minute admission. I wonder how him and Cody are going to do. You know, obviously they're friends, and Cody came out to make sure that Seth Rollins didn't try to beat up on his friend after that match and everything, because Seth Rollins was all mad that neither Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker are going to advance in King of the Ring. And so I also think that they want this little faction to last for a long time. And if they do that, and if one of them would have got King of the Ring, then I see a betrayal there. I mean, it's just too soon for their faction just started. So I literally think it's too soon. So that's where we are with that. Now on the Queen of the Ring side, it is going to be Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Okay. She looked good when she came out on Raw. Like, I liked the black and the black and white mask, and then like her makeup, super cute, super fetch. She's adorable. I wasn't sure who was going to win out of that one, whether it was going to be Asuka or Raquel. And then this is the only reason why I would have thought it would have been Raquel, is because obviously Judgment Day is still having issues. Why they haven't imploded yet? I don't understand. I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm tired. Okay. I want it to be over. Please. Please. I'm begging you. Make it stop. Because I'm ready for it to end, okay? I'm just like, that's how I want to take to the Judgment Day. Not to them as people, but just to the faction itself. I want it obliterated, okay? I'm so over it. And it's not like it's, I don't know. I think with the bloodline implosions and stuff, it's a lot different. It gives you, it's because it's actual blood, okay? They're actually related. And I think that level of implosion is like good for the long term because I mean it's family and everybody knows, everybody got that family member they don't mess with, okay, that they don't want to invite, that they don't want around, they always getting into it with, you know, or they just, you don't vibe, and it's not a vibe, it's not cute, okay? We all have those family members. Some of us, that's the whole family, okay? It's the whole family, okay? And I done had a few sets, okay? Sometimes it's the whole throw a mile away, okay? So, but you know, I think it's a different level, so it kind of gives you a different depth because it's actual blood relations. So I don't know. It just seems a little bit. I don't know. The bloodline storyline was probably one of their. It has to be in the top 3. Period. Point blank in the end. The bloodline storylines. Enough said. You know what I mean? So I just think it's time for the Judgment Day to go ahead and end that and go their separate ways, do what they need to do. Because Liv is pissed off at Raquel because. Side note, did y'all notice how they were booing Raquel and Ivy Nile every time they did some power move? Now, I would give this to Ivy Nile, but I won't give to Raquel because Raquel can't wrestle. Y'all can't convince me that she can. I could do a better job, okay? She can't wrestle. At one point, I don't know if it was Corey Graves or if it was Michael Cole, but one of them was like, basically, they was like, she ain't even trying to make it look good. She's just out there pushing people down. She didn't say pushing her down, but like, that's basically what she was saying. She was just strong arming. Like there was no actual technicality. There's no good wrestling going on. There's no impressive moves. But you're just strong. Get your strong head ass out of here. Anyways. But did we notice that? Because anytime they would do a power move or stuff, they would literally get booed. I don't understand how WWE, did I say too many W's just then? WWE, not the www.com. Anyway, I don't understand how they don't realize the more they're trying to force Raquel and Ivy Nile down our throats, the more we dislike them. But I digress. We're going to move on. Okay. So, yeah, but Rhea came out and made sure Raquel did not advance. Okay. Shout out to mommy. Okay. We got to give her shout out. We got to give her flowers because the she thinking interrupted mommy last week. Oh, you thought you was going to get away scot-free? No. Mommy said I'm on that ass. Okay. Snatch out the ring like you snatched her out. Okay, now it's your turn. So now you're not going to advance. And then she was talking about she wasn't cleared and Liv got all upset. And then, but did you see, did y'all see the backstage segment with that whole process? And then Fan was like, oh, Roxanne, I know Liv says she doesn't need help, but I have an idea. But, you know, that never really fully came to fruition because in the match with Liv and Kairi Sane, I don't even think that it lasted 5 minutes. Like, basically what happened is Liv dislocated her surgery in the very beginning of the match. It was like one of the first or second moves that Kairi did. And Liv just landed bad and you could see it pop. You can see it pop out. Ooh, you can just see it. Yeah, they had to pan away. And I watched it after the fact, so I don't know what people saw live, if they would have just cut to commercial or whatever. But I didn't see that part, but I was like, I'd rather see blood. Don't show me these dislocated shoulders, broken bones. Okay, I don't know who in their right mind slowed down that Zoe Stark whenever she broke her knee. She like broke her knee. I definitely like touched on it a few weeks ago. It was like she got injured 10 minutes in the match or something like that. Yeah, she broke it. I don't think she's going to be able to wrestle again. Now, I don't know if that was like kayfabing it up or what, but I know she's out. Like she broke that, but she broke it. It's so I don't know if she's ever going to come back. I remember seeing her say she had to retire, but I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's like a kayfabe moment or what. So we'll see if we ever see Zoe Stark again, but still, got injured super quick. So I don't know what they were planning. I want to know. I wish I would have known, but we did not see Nikki Bella tonight. She did say she was going to be on the show, well, she was going to be in Green Bay. So obviously sometimes things she just had the whole segment with Liv, and then Bree never confirmed it on Nikki and Bree's like podcast, because I definitely watched it after that. She appeared on Monday Night Raw last week, but the streets are talking that it's official that Bree's going to be back too. So hopefully they can pop Liv's shoulder back in and she's okay. But obviously she's already been out previously with the shoulder injury. So, we never really know. But hopefully it's just a easy pop back in, rest it, and then that storyline could kick up, because we definitely need Liv Morgan something going on at Evolution next month. Because we're less than a month away, y'all. So, exciting things happening in the WWE universe. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, getting AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio at Night of Champions for the IC title. Okay, and then on the women's side of the IC title, we're going to get Bayley versus Becky Lynch. Okay, I'm excited to see the Becky versus Bayley, because I think since I've been back watching consistently, which would have started last year, Becky was out. And I've obviously seen her wrestle before, but I was not watching when their feud was like big. Basically, when the first Evolution and like the revolution of them switching from divas into just women's superstars, that is when I stopped watching. We're talking a long time ago, y'all. So, up until now. So, last year is when I started back. So, I didn't really get to see their feud and all of that stuff. And I didn't watch NXT even back then. But, so we're having both IC titles go off at Night of Champions. Obviously, Night of Champions, every title is up for grabs. You have a match there, it's for a title. People bringing it in. So, both IC titles will go up. We'll have those matches. I wonder if we're going to get every single championship. I would like to see that. That's why, I would like to see it. So anyways, I think the Dom and AJ Styles is going to be a really good match. Of course, I think there'll be interference from Judgment Day. I just don't know if it's going to help Dom or hurt him. Don't know. So we'll wait to see. I do think that... Do I think she's going to lose it? No, I don't think she's going to lose against Bayley. I think that this is going to keep building between the three of them, and it's going to escalate, because then it was Lyra's like, okay, well, you're doing what's best for you. Make sure you remember that when I do what's best for me, is basically what it was. So we'll see how all of that stuff transpires. I am excited for Night of Champions, excited for Evolution. SummerSlam is going to be interesting because it's the first 2-day SummerSlam, and so it's going to be like a mini WrestleMania, I'm guessing. I think they want to like pump SummerSlams back up, because honestly, their biggest one, I don't know why Nikki Bella said that on Total Divas all the way back in the day. Okay, SummerSlam is not little WrestleMania. It might be now, but it wasn't back then. Your biggest pay-per-views are literally Royal Rumble. Yeah, like Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. If you have to pick number one after WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, hands down. Can't convince me otherwise. So we're going to move on. All right, so there, what the streets was talking, and Twin, hey Twin, was telling me months ago that there was going to be a Gunther versus Goldberg situation happening, and like the streets was talking, which is the blogs. And then I was watching Deontay DDJ's. He had said something too not too long ago and was like, y'all, the Goldberg and Gunther thing is going to happen. Well, it's happening. Night of Champions. Okay. No. I lied to you. Not Night of Champions. Saturday night main event the day before Evolution. So July the 12th. That's when so that means the title's not going to change. Gunther's going to keep his title. I don't know the last time they actually had a title switch on Saturday night main event, but they're not going to change such a big title on the Saturday night main event. They don't have as many eyes. That one maybe have a little more eyes just because it's next to right next to Evolution, but Saturday night main events are like the ones people usually skip. So I digress. They're going to be fighting now. So the streets had some validity to that. So shout out to the streets because y'all be knowing things. Okay. Y'all be smarticles. Y'all be using y'all's noggins. I'm here for y'all. Y'all be knowing everything. So moving along. Okay. We're going to have Jade Cargill versus Roxanne on the semifinals for Queen of the Rings on one side. And then the other side is going to be the Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Now, really excited for the Alexa Bliss versus Asuka fight. I think that's going to be a really good match. Really solid. Okay. Now, Jade Cargill versus Roxanne. That's like Sasaki beating up Anna. That's just, and if y'all don't watch Baddies, go search who the people are, go look up Sasaki. She eating them up. Okay. It's just a very drastic weight difference. Like weight, I mean like height, strength, like very drastic. Even though Roxanne is very crafty and very good and very like technically sound, where Jade is like, she's been getting a lot better. But where Jade is not as much. I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know. I don't see them. I don't know. I don't see them letting Jade lose. I see it Jade versus Alexa or Asuka. That's a toss up. I don't know how I feel about them putting Asuka straight back into. I don't think they will. But I think Alexa Bliss will take the win on this, maybe. But I just think that I don't know if Asuka can hang right now because the end of that fight on Raw, when they were trying to do her little interview, Mama could not breathe. Like she was out of breath, but she's been gone for like a year and a month. I think they said 13 months. So she's been gone for over a year. In the WWE, that's a long time. It's not like anybody forgot about Asuka, but it's like, this is a long time to have an injury and you not be ring ready the way that you used to be a year ago. You know, like that's just ring rust as they call it, but like, and not so much ring rust because she looked fine in the ring, but it was afterwards you could just tell Mama was winded and she was on her last breath. Okay. She was tired. So, I don't know if she's quite ready for it. Alexa Bliss came back and was not even, yeah. So I think Asuka might just need a little bit more time to get back her stamina. But also, she doesn't have really any big, she doesn't have any storylines at all. She just came back. So I don't see them letting her quite do that. But I do see them letting Jade win all of it because Naomi has the briefcase. And if she cashes in and then Jade versus Naomi for a title, it writes itself. So, and they still have unfinished business or haven't finished that. So anything is possible if you just believe or if you're the WWE. So excited for those matches. quick little segment. It was kind of quick. They had a promo at the beginning of SmackDown, which was like John Cena coming out, him is yip yappering, and then who comes out next? So CM Punk, and he was like, "You just trying to beat me? You trying to do what I already did? Be original, stand on your own. Like, don't you selling out." And somebody said, I think it was Deontay DJ, it was like, y'all, the Naomi and R-Truth's heel turns have been significantly better than what John Cena has done. After the first initial Cody Rhodes thing, and then the first initial winning by cheating, he hasn't done anything. Like, he hasn't done anything. There's no like sneak attacks. There's nothing other than the one to get Logan Paul up. But then R-Truth does come out and stops that, or whoever. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So also R-Truth does come out and beat up John Cena twice on SmackDown. Twice. Okay, the same night. Got beat up twice. LA Knight also came out. So I think he's getting his final his final push into the big title game. I think he's finally getting that, because they had him stuck in the mid card. And I genuinely don't think, like, obviously, I think he's kind of, like I said, is another Jey Uso, where his aura makes up for any kind of low technicalities, okay, on like no tech, just he makes up for it. So I think that he would do good. He would carry it well, whatever big title that he had. But I think he'll have another title at least like by this time next year. There's just, I feel like they have to wrap up some things, and I think ultimately at WrestleMania, it's going to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Or yeah, I think that's what it's going to end up being. I think that's what that's going to end up being. Yeah, I just don't see. I don't know yet about the Gunther and the heavyweight championship, but I think eventually what it's going to end up being at WrestleMania next year for the title, a main event will be a Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. But I also could see Sami Zayn versus Gunther again for that heavyweight title, because obviously Sami Zayn is the one who ended Gunther's his iconic IC title run. It was ended by Sami Zayn. Everybody always underestimates Sami Zayn, so I think that this could be it, y'all. I think it could be. So we will see what happens in WWE land coming up soon. We'll see who keeps to advancing and who's going to be in the final fight. And the other matches they're going to add to Night of Champions, because there are no females other than the IC title. And we had Io versus, I don't know who we're going to have Io versus first, because it's supposed to be Io. It's supposed to have the unfinished business of Rhea, but that's kind of like fizzled. And then you will have like Liv coming out. It's like, I never got my title back, like my title rematch from Rhea. Baby, you were supposed to get that from Rhea. It don't count no more. You got to start from scratch. You got to start from the back of the line. And you've lost every opportunity that you could have had. So I don't know what to tell you. Roxanne's not going to let you have that. And they're doing Roxanne's big push or whatever. But I just do think that they're going to like get her seen and known and then push her towards a mid-card title eventually. I think that's what that's going to end up being. So I don't think I see them giving Stephanie a big title before Roxanne, even though Roxanne is doing her like big one right now. So also, side note before we get out of here, I do think that Asuka versus Stephanie Vaquer would be a match. Okay, I think it would be a match. Oh, that match would be so nasty. I wouldn't even be able to take no notes, y'all. Okay, that match would be good. I think it would be just as good as if we saw Stephanie versus Io again. So exciting things coming up. I'm excited to see how some of these storylines keep developing, who ends up in the mid-card championship title rounds and the big title card rounds, and then what's happening to the tag team female division over on period. No, we're not even going to say Raw or SmackDown, it's period. I think that's their issue. They introduced these other two titles and then let the tag team titles just go. We need more. So I think that's the whole Nikki and Brie coming back thing is what's going to help that tag team division. I genuinely think that's what's going to happen for the women. I think the men over on SmackDown are doing solid. Haven't seen any tag team stuff going on in the last few weeks, but obviously the last few weeks has been very heavy on Money in the Bank and King of the Rings, Queen of the Rings, stuff like that. So I think that's just kind of taking a little backseat, but we're still solid on Raw and SmackDown with the men's tag teams. I think it's just, and we're getting the momentum for the women's mid-card titles. It's just the tag team titles. And I think that's what they're trying to fix and work out. So we will see y'all, but that's all I got for y'all this week. Like I told y'all, I was going to try to keep it short and sweeter than I normally do because I have a lot of videos to record for you. So, love you guys. Thank y'all guys for coming on my channel. All right. So, pause, but don't hit pause. Okay. And then I need you to go hit that like button. Okay. Go hit it. All right. And then I need you to leave a comment down below. All right. Say hello. Say your predictions. Tell me if I missed something. Say hi. Whatever you want to do. Okay. And then go hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Please. And thank you. If you're not already subscribed, if you are, then you need to do the next thing. And that's hit that notification bell. Okay. So you know when I post new videos. All right. Yes. All right. So I will see y'all next week for WWE Wednesday. All right. I love y'all. Bye.